Hey guys, Benny here from Crypto Catch Up. Welcome to 2018. We've got a big year ahead. I've got heaps of content I want to get out to you guys to help you along the road of crypto. And if you are already invested, I hope the first day of the year has treated you well, because it certainly has treated me well. So tonight, what I want to cover are what are ICOs. It's always a good area to get your head around early on in your crypto career, because you will see them pop up, and they do offer sometimes some very, very good opportunities to get in on the ground level, and with a bit of patience can certainly pay off. All right, so what are an ICOs? Well, like it says on your screen there, it's initial coin offerings. So they're very similar to that of what you may know as an IPO, an initial public offering. The one big difference though is that ICOs are hardly regulated in any country. So what this I guess can be a cause for concern around is that you have cowboys coming out of the woodworks, making up some fictitious project, doing the legwork around creating a website and some hype, and then taking your money and going for a bit of a ride. So that's something that we just want to go through, make sure that we've got that in our toolbox of crypto assets to make sure we can stay away from things like that. But really what initial coin offerings are, just like IPOs, is a crowdfunding exercise. It's where somebody's come up with an idea, they might even have a prototype, and they're looking to raise some capital to get that project underway and to make our crypto wallet salivate. Alright, so why an ICO? Well, like I said earlier, you can get in on the ground. Being on that ground level, you can be right there to pick up an absolute bargain sometimes, and with a bit of patience, it certainly can pay off. ICOs give you a great opportunity to pick up projects which you may not have known about otherwise once they go live, because they get caught up in the rest of the other 2,000 odd coins or tokens out there. But what are the risks? Well, the risks are that they could raise this capital and literally disappear. Because there's no regulation around this in a lot of the countries, you'll find some of them will pop up in random places, whether it be Panama or sometimes even on our own shores, which is something the Australian government is certainly looking to regulate. And people are umming and ahhing about whether we should or should not regulate it. Regulation is good, guys. It means people like this can't do us out of our hard-earned cash, and you get a better opportunity moving forward. There's some forms of regulation that is overreaching, but anything, as far as I'm concerned, in the initial coin offering space is very good in the Australian sector. Whereas I can't speak for other countries, and that's why we need to do videos like this. So are they legal? Yes, they're legal, especially in Australia, but you do have to meet certain guidelines. Once again, overseas, they do what they want. What you will find, however, though, is that if you're trying to partake in an ICO, it might actually say US residents not allowed, Chinese residents not allowed. That is just because they have regulated these kinds of activities in their particular countries, and there is good reason for that. So what are some examples of ICOs that have been successful? Well, I wrote some down before. Status raised $100 million in June last year. Bancor, $156 million. Tezos, $232 million. EOS, $185 million. Now, I don't know about you, but I have a problem with that. The problem is what do you need that kind of money for to start up this blockchain and deliver it in small packages to the people of this good world? Because if I compare it to something like Ethereum, well, they raised $18 million. Now, since then, when it came out, the ICO price was around 30 cents. Now they're sitting at around $974. which if we look at, that's around 3,200 times the initial price. So if you got in at the ground level and held on, you were in for one hell of a ride, because I can tell you right now, $300 odd back then would make you a millionaire in today's rating scales. All right. So what I want to cover now, guys, is what to consider when you're looking at an ICO. There's heaps of them out there, and we're going to go through a lot of websites after this, some random ones I've found off the web, some good, some not so good. But knowing what to look for is really important, to just not buy into something that possibly could be a scam. Like I said around Tezos before, 232 million raised, and now a class action lawsuit in the US of A around their handling of their ICO. So we don't want to be a part of that. We want to get the money and we want to run with it. All right, so let's have a talk about the first thing to consider. So the business problem, does it actually solve a need? Is there something about it that is novel that you may not have seen before, that's innovative in this particular space or even in the world as a whole? Is it using a new consensus mechanism? So currently Bitcoin uses proof of work, which requires a lot of electricity to be used, but then you have other ones like proof of stake, which don't require anywhere near that kind of, I guess, resource wastage. So that for me is a big win. It also means that we can scale out the project nicely into the future without other people banging on our door. And this is a big one I have. Is a token even needed? Some people are literally creating coins and saying they need a token. For example, there's an ATM network currently being rolled out, and they're rolling out their own token with it. What is the purpose of that token? Now, they say they'll pay some money back into those ATM machines. That's great, but there is really no need for that token in that marketplace, because there is thousands of other coins out there already doing that, and all they're doing is copying the code of Ethereum. So it makes you really need to question why it is worthwhile, and if you do get into it, you may need to get out early. So you can still get in at a low price, but it may not be a long hold. So you need to consider these things when you're purchasing into ICOs. All right, the team and advisors. How important is this? So what does the team look like? What are they made up of? Are they, MIT grads? Are they business extraordinaires, investors? Are they well known in the community? That's something for you to research. So is their experience in business and in technology? If they're tech heavy, they may build a great product, but going into the future, they might not have very good PR, marketing, or anything like that, and so their project never gets the recognition, I guess, is that even a word, that they deserve. Are the advisors of the project well established? Have they even got any advisors from big projects, maybe other ICOs, or even companies that consult in that particular area? That is all important. Now, to do research into that area, use tools like LinkedIn. Google is very much your best friend. So the community engagement. So like I said, is the team as a whole active in the community? Are they talking about their product? Are they letting you know how well they're going on? Is there some old school customer service where they are caring about you as an investor, wanting to keep you up to date, being honest, unlike what we're seeing with Verge and their Wraith protocol, where they're saying they're going to deliver, it doesn't really happen, then it might happen, and people get left wondering what really is the go. We don't want that. We want teams that have active GitHubs, which for the non-technical folk means that they're working on the development, and you can see that live. That they're active on social media, on Twitter, on Telegram groups, on Slack channels, on Discords, all those tools that are available to us to follow their project and really get involved to understand the nitty-gritty, but without the emotional attachment, guys. I don't want to see any of that in this space. You will make bad decisions. All right. So what else do we need to look at? Well, the total supply and how much they're going to be selling off at the ICO. So what is the total supply? Because if it's a really large supply within the billions, well, that to me infers that I could have a very long hold on my hand. There is the old calculation of what is the total supply times by the current price. That gives you an idea of what it would take, or even the circulating supply of what it would take to reach a particular level. If the total of that, is in the trillions of dollars and Bitcoin is not even there yet, do you really think that this is going to be a 2-month hold for you to get your money back? Maybe not. Something to take into account. It is not the be all and end all, guys. I'm sure somebody will have something to say about that. So how much is the ICO percentage of that supply? So if they're selling off 80% of the ICO, that's awesome. You're going to get in the ground, and from there, give you good opportunities to get quite a lot of them. It can play both ways once again, though. Is there a hard cap? That for me, once again, is a big thing. A hard cap infers that they will only take a certain portion of your money. So like I said earlier, with these projects, taking $100+ million off people, is it necessary? Is it fair? Are you actually going to deliver $100 million worth of value? Probably not. So let's be realistic, guys. If they've got a hard cap, they're trying to be honest with themselves and you to work hard. It also means that they can commit to their roadmap and show that they're about delivery. So what is the ICO price? That's super important. I don't want to buy something that's going to be $5 out of the gates. If you think your project's worth $5 out of the gates, get out of my face. Let somebody else invest in that. That is just absolutely malarkey. You should be getting in there, guys, at anywhere from cents up into the dollar mark. If people are asking more, the reason for that is they're saying that it's worth 1 Ethereum to 2,000 coins, but Ethereum's going up and these caps stay the same for the pricing. So you get shoved out of what could be a couple of hundred coins sometimes because of the changing in price. So be aware of that. And is anything pre-mined? Are they, when they're releasing this blockchain for this project, going to practically print themselves some money? So what that pre-mine means is, are they going to keep a portion for themselves? Are they going to mine them off and have a huge amount there ready to drop at any time? This can be good because sometimes project teams use that as their influencing factor to work hard. But once again, these are just things to consider, not the be all and end all. All right, the roadmap. What does their future look like? Is it distant? Is it nearby? And once, are they being ambitious, or are they just doing the bare minimal to get past and make you want to invest your money? Is there a prototype? So is there a minimum viable product that they can show you just to whet your appetite? And coming back to the team, have they been successful previously as a team? Are there other products or prototypes that they have that you possibly could have a look at or be informed about that helps you make your decision? Another thing I just want to add to that, guys, is around white papers. Read their white paper. If it's filled with buzzwords, be careful in that. A lot of it's all marketing jargon, and a lot of them are missing out on the technical details, which hits different homes, I guess, because some people aren't technical, so they need to give that information in a more layman's terms. But if they're not doing both, they're not really doing that balancing act, because cryptography or cryptocurrencies, it's nerd money. So a lot of the time, the people that were originally investing in this were from a technical background. So you've got to strike that balance. All right, some quick 3 keys to success. Know how to join and the process of what happens with an ICO. So you can join directly, which means you'll go to the website, they will ask you some information, and you go through that manner. indirectly is where exchanges such as Binance actually offer through a portion of their website to give members of their exchange, access to buy into these just using the Ethereum out of your wallet on that exchange, which is a lot easier to do, but you don't always get in at the earliest point in time, because when you get in directly, if you get in the very first week, they might be offering 50% bonus tokens. That is awesome. The next week it might be 30% and it goes down, but it's certainly something to be pay attention to. When I talk about the process there, ICOs have a number of steps, so you'll have to sign up, and that's where we move into this whitelisting and KYC. They're one and the same, so you need to be prepared. Once again, the country of origin. Are you even allowed to sign up for this? By being prepared, knowing the process, which normally they'll provide a guide on their website, you'll log in, you'll sign up, you'll whitelist, which means you'll normally have to provide your name, information like that, and an email address. They then will do, sometimes you'll know your customer information, which is that KYC. Just to make sure you're not from China or USA or one of those countries that aren't allowed. So that is a legitimate thing, guys. Once again, be careful. This is a startup company and they're asking for your personal details. Whether you want to give it to them or not, that is up to yourself, but be careful with what you're investing in. I'd hate for somebody in our groups to get scammed in that way. And the final thing, and I think this is the most important, is to have a checklist. So know the name of the ICO, know the address that they're asking you to actually submit funds to, know when it starts, ends, the data field entry that may be required, the recommended gas limit. So the gas limit refers to the transaction fee that you'll have to pay. So with majority, now when I say majority, 95% of ICOs, they're based off Ethereum platform. So you pay a gas limit or a fee out of Ethereum as a part of what you transfer over. Now the gas limit for a normal transaction's 21,000. Well, for a ICO, you could be spending up to 250,000 because you're actually sending across a smart contract. So what happens is you send them, for example, 1 Ether. When the ICO finishes, the smart contract goes, hey, they paid this much, that's equal to this much, let's send it back. So you're actually sending over more information than a normal transaction. How much you want to bid, and like I said, that ICO guide, how you actually take part in it, your wallet details and password. So just jumping back to the process quickly, ICOs are a little more complex. What will happen is that you'll sign up and go through that process. They'll then give you an address. Never ever pay for an ICO from your exchange. Never send it from your exchange to the address that they supply. You will burn yourself every single time. You need to send it from a wallet that you own, such as my Ether wallet, which I'll show you in a second. But from within my Ether wallet, just like you would on the exchange, you click in the address, you send that money across, and what will happen, guys, is that it can normally take up to 4 weeks for these tokens to be distributed back to you. So just read about that on their website. It's not instantaneous because the ICOs can go for some time. All right, let's jump out of that and jump over to a few of these ICO watch list sites that you can have a look at. So I'll leave a few of these down in the description below, guys, but none of these are in order of how good they are. They're just a few of them out there. So this one here, live ICOs upcoming, finished. You can scroll down, have a look. Environ, Crypterium's been quite popular. BitDegree is cool. Once again, you got to have a look at the details. So it gives you a quick thing. If we go ICO details, so the founders, bit of video, beautiful, where it's based. Look at all these channels. That's what I want to see. I want to see that they're going to be active. and obviously a bit of other information there. Cool, that's that website. Moving on. Another one, there we go, Ethereum again. You got these, they're all there, and upcoming ones as well. What you'll notice though, guys, on some sites is that some of them are like sponsored, so just be wary of that. They're not always the best. It just means that somebody's paid some money to make them join the top of the list. This one, ICO-list, another list there. I like this because you've got the scale of what they're doing in the total supply. So like I talked about earlier, these guys here are doing a a high portion during the ICO, and what they accept, which is wonderful. This one's nice and fancy, ICO bench. You can select here by the industry, which I find pretty cool. Once again, just click into one, guys. WePowers like Power Ledger, some details, a video, a breakdown, and all of that. This is a pretty well put together website. Look at that, beautiful. Whoop, clicked on something. White paper. ICOhotlist.com. Oh, there you go, another sponsored one. Go away. Oh, cool, you can get ICO alerts. Once again, all the channels, what they're talking about. Click on one of these, takes you to the page, same thing. This website, pre-ICOs, ICOs, because you can actually do a seed round, pre-ICO round, ICO round, just to get different forms of investors in. Sometimes it's companies that they'll get done first, other times it's other ones. Everyday Joe Blows like you and I. Another website, nothing too crash hot there. Loconomy here actually does reviews on them, so that's cool. If you're not technically savvy, it might actually break it down for you and help you out a little bit. There's not that many there though, so you'd have to find another website. And finally, having a look here at My Ether Wallet. So this My Ether Wallet, practically, it's a website. It stores none of your details. It's direct to the blockchain. It's super secure, but like it says here, don't get phished because people change the address. So install MetaMask or Kryptonite, which if we were to open a new one of these, this is MetaMask up here. It's a little thing. You sign into that, do a few transactions. You can send tokens. So if you had an ICO address, you just paste one in like that, bang, the amount you want to spend, click next. Let's click something and see what happens. I don't know, I've got nothing in this account because I hardly ever use it. And he goes blah 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 blah, and it tells you what the gas limit is, which is what I talked about before, the transaction fee. So you would chuck that up to 250,000 and it'd say that's $5. Now if you send it to a lower amount, it will send it, but if it runs out of gas, it spends that money. Whereas if you send a higher amount, it will only use what it needs and return the rest to you. Hence why I say 250,000. All right, if we go back to My Ether Wallet, so here you simply create a wallet. So you chuck in a password. Let's just do one quickly. Save your key store file. What it allows you to do is when you go to log back in and you go send Ether tokens, you click key store, you select the file, you put your password in, and you're logged in, and off you go. In there, you do the transactions like normal. Heaps of videos on YouTube for that. Alright guys, if you've liked this video, please like and subscribe. Let me know any information you may need to know in the comments. Like always, we're just trying to help you out here, guys. And I do thank you. Enjoy the start of the year.